Well, welcome to Spit in a Bit. I'm here with trainer Jay Nehf and Stan, a horse player. He's in on Kazazi as well as myself, and we're on the track a lot. So we're going to ask Jay a few questions. Kazazi had a terrific work this morning. Why don't you tell us about her work, Jay, and then we'll ask you more questions about what our morning works for horses.
Well, you have to be adaptable.
Which you had to be today, that's for sure.
So Cincy and I video all of our workouts, so we can go back and analyze and get the details of things like, where did this horse slow down? Where did this horse begin to tire? How fast was the first part of it? Did the rider have him under wraps for the first furlong or so? All of those things we can, with the video, we can get very precise timing. And,
okay.
Speaking of timing, you'll hear a lot of talk about, well, for example, Kazazi worked 4 furlongs today. That's half a mile. Furlong is 1/8 of a mile, in 47.2 seconds.
How many furlongs do horses usually breeze? So you're talking about breezing, right?
We're talking breezing, a workout, same
Yeah.
thing. So what you have to bear in mind is the basic math here is 12 seconds per furlong.
Okay.
That's your standard. The further the horse goes, the further away from that standard you're going to get. So a horse might work 4 furlongs in 48 seconds, 12, 12, 12. And they're going to be at the top of the list. Each horse's breeze has to be officially recorded. So we don't just walk up to the track, go on and do our work. We have to first get a vet check. Then we have to notify the clockers that Kazazi is going to work 3 furlongs on the training track, starting at the 3 furlong pole. Because sometimes you might start at the quarter pole, work 2 furlongs to the wire, and another furlong past. Just so horses don't get in the habit of starting to ease up at the same place all the time, and so on.
Okay, interesting.
Can I interject, Jay,
Yeah.
too? Can you explain what a furlong is, too? Because
Oh, yeah,
that's really important.
Yeah, that's 1/8 of a mile.
Okay.
And that is, more and more now, that term is becoming archaic. But in the condition book, which is the book that the racing office puts out, tells us what races are going to be offered on what day, those distances are in furlongs. Yeah, that's what a furlong is, and 12 seconds per furlong or per eighth. So as you get to, every workout is going to be officially recorded, and then they will tell you where you are in terms of all the horses that worked out at that distance on that day. Now, in the case of Kazazi, she was the 3rd fastest of the day at that distance out of 57 horses that worked 4 furlongs. She worked in 47.2 seconds, and that's what you're going to see in the official Equibase statistics. So you'll see anything 48 seconds or even faster will be the top times of the day for 4 furlongs. Going an extra furlong to 5 furlongs, that is, you will see most horses working out 5 furlongs, 5/8 of a mile, on a regular basis. And you'll see anything, when you hit 1 minute for 5/8 of a mile, you're going to be right at the top of the list.
Okay.
Anything under 1 minute, 59 and change, that's an eye-opener. So, and you will typically see Baffert's expensive horses going in 59 and change. 6 furlongs, not many horses are going to work 6 furlongs. Baffert will regularly. workhorses, fixed furlongs, and they're going to go. So 12 seconds furlongs is 1 minute 12 seconds,
Right.
right? That's not easy to do. They'll go faster than that in a race, but in a workout, when a horse is on its own and they're, don't have all the adrenaline going and everything, anything, 59 to 1 minute is really fast, and going 112, rare in a workout. They're usually going close to 113.
How often does a horse work out?
Routinely, it's going to be every week, every 7 days. That to me seems very arbitrary, and it's difficult to get a regular program for a horse in anything but 7 days. And the reason is we're not allowed to breeze horses on Tuesday.
Why is that?
Well, they have these regulatory vets watching the horses all the time, and they need a day off.
You can't breeze a horse on Tuesday because it's the vet's day off? Okay.
So, if you're breezing every 6 days, eventually you're going to get to a Tuesday and you can't breeze. So now you're either going to go on 5 days or 7 or 8 days. So to go in anything but 7 days is problematic.
Interesting.
Now, we're 6 days between workouts and the race. So we breezed 6 days ago with Kazazi, and then we breezed today. I take that back. We didn't breeze. 6 days ago, we worked a mile in 2 minutes. So we did something very much out of the ordinary, but not unheard of. We worked a full mile in 2 minutes. Now that's 15 seconds per furlong. That's significantly slower. So if you do the math, a 2 minute mile is 30 miles per hour.
Okay. Yeah.
A 12-second furlong is 37.5 miles per hour.
Wow, so that's significant.
So it's a significantly slower pace.
Is that what's referred to as a 2-minute lick?
That's a 2 minute lick, right? So, so she worked a 2 minute mile, which is again significantly faster than a normal daily exercise gallop.
Okay, well, you brought that up. Don't forget where we're at, but a normal gallop or jog, I hear you use both those. She's going out for a gallop jog. Are they different? Are they the same?
Yes. So a gallop, the speed will vary tremendously, but from one rider to another, from one horse to another. But it's going to be well under 15-second furlongs. They're probably going to be going 27, 28 miles per
Oh, wow.
hour. Right?
Okay.
Most of them. A jog is a trot, which is a different gait altogether, and they're going much slower for that. And plus, they're landing on 2 feet at a time, so the stresses on the legs are entirely different, much less.
Okay, so a jog and a gallop, those are kind of most every morning almost, and then you'll get a workout in there. There's times that you've had Kazazi or your horses. You say, oh, they're just walking in the morning.
Yeah. So
how often does that happen?
So typically, after a work or after a work, they'll usually walk one day, then jog the next, and just kind of easy, light work leading up to the next workout and a race. But this is with a horse that's already fit and already racing.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got a young 2-year-old that's getting prepared for its first race, and you're starting out from scratch, I have my own program, which is very different from what you'd be doing once a horse is fit.
Very surprising that Jay does things different.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of new. I probably shouldn't go into too much detail because
There's a lot of detail in that, Jay.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but do I want everybody else?
Oh, there
You
you,
know.
go.
Well,
Can I get back to the mile really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Sure.
so
The 2-minute mile.
yeah, the 2-minute mile, and you were talking about Kazazi, who is fit, right?
Correct.
So we're talking about a mile. The purpose of the mile, in your eyes, right? Is
Yeah.
it more just like what they would consider a maintenance drill, stretch the legs just to get her on the track? It's not really something that's building up stamina, right? Or is it kind of a combination of both?
Okay, so interesting question. I'm using, without going into further detail, in preparing an unraced horse for its first start, I'm using that 2-minute pace, that 15-second furlong, to for the groundwork to get that youngster ready. Now, there was research done at Penn, University of Pennsylvania, at their vet school, and they found that once a horse hits that 30-mile-per-hour mark, that 15-second furlong, once they hit that speed, the stresses in the lower leg bones change dramatically. Up until that speed, the greatest amount of force is straight down, and it goes up through that supporting column. Once they go beyond that speed, the greatest force is before it's straight down, and it causes that bone, the cannon bone, the shin bone, to flex. And that's where you get buck shins, you get microfractures, and so on and so forth. And the horse's bones have to adapt to that stress. So you've got to get them up to that speed, and then give them time for those bones to remodel. And it takes weeks to do. So we use that 3/16 of a mile, which is like 32 to 36 strides, at that speed, to primarily to strengthen the bones. But what we found out was, when we started to breeze and pick the speed up and the distance up, that they were tremendously fit. We had no idea that they were going to gain that much physical conditioning at that low speed. And when it came time to breeze Kazazi's one, she just took off. She no problem.
See, without him even knowing, he just gave away one of his secrets about bone building.
Yeah, but you
know.
gotta know how to apply it.
Saddler is just right over
Yeah.
there.
You gotta know how and when to apply it. So
Okay, all right.
Anyway.
Just
So
making sure.
he hasn't given away all his secrets, just a part of it.
So yeah, so the pace of these workouts, there's a lot more science to it now in the last 10 years than there ever was for the preceding 200 years.
Okay, so you mentioned earlier the furlongs, and 3 furlongs, 4 furlongs, 5. Rarely do they go 6, but bad for some. What is the strategy of them? Like, when would you have a horse breeze 3 versus 5? Is there a method to the madness?
There's a hell of a lot of guesswork, to be perfectly honest.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's way more complicated than just the few things we've touched on, because one of the things, and we were talking about this morning, Kazazi's workout this morning was extremely fast, because we know she went 3 furlongs in 34.7 seconds.
Right.
Well under the 36 seconds that a 12-minute pace would give you. That was intentional. I didn't know she'd go that fast. That's remarkably fast, but she's done it before. But you're working on the neuromuscular pathways. They actually learn how to run fast. Their body gets conditioned for it and builds up the coordination and the mental attitude going into a fast workout. going around turns and going from a left lead to a right lead as they come out of the turn at high speed. So high speed workouts have their place. For me, I try to be cautious about the weight they're carrying and the distance that they're going. Short, fast workouts are
I think it's an
not
interesting
that
question
powerful.
because trainers all kind of get in a certain niche the way they train. It's people have, like you're saying, it's like guesswork. People have different ways of training, right?
Yeah.
So from a bettor or handicapper, workouts are really not always the best way to when you look at the form
You
and you see
get
that.
almost no information as a handicapper. You guys were here this morning watching the workout. You saw everything.
Yeah.
You saw how tight she was on the rail. You saw the form of the jockey on her back. You saw all kinds of detail. How she finished, how she galloped out. You saw
Yeah.
all kinds of details that
That was a lot
people-
better information than what we'd get in just the time.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the term, just so people know, the term bull at work is the best.
Well, the reason it's called a bullet.
Okay, I knew he would have this. I knew he would know why
There's no
it's called
question
bullet.
that's
Okay,
silly.
so if you're looking at the racing form, right, and they'll have the horses' past performances, and under that they'll have in a line recent workouts. And if you see a black dot in front of that workout, you know that was a bullet workout. They call it a bullet because of that black dot. It was the
Okay.
fastest time of the day at that distance. So she didn't have a bullet workout today,
Which is third.
but previously she did.
Okay.
So you'll see that in the form. There's also, speaking of things you see in the form and the bullet, you know what a bug boy is?
Yeah, the jockey who's an apprentice, right?
Right. You know
Yeah.
that, but you know why they call them bug boys?
I have no idea.
No.
Okay. In the program, next to the rider's name, it would have an asterisk, a big asterisk. And everybody said it looked like a squash bug.
Okay,
And
so they
that's-
became the bug
So
boys.
they would say he's got the bug. Oh, that jockey, he's got the bug. The
Okay.
bug is the apprentice allowance. Now it's 7 pounds. Used to be 10.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty good advantage.
Yeah.
So there's some other terms that you hear with morning workouts that in company. What does it mean when a horse is in company?
That's when you have two horses or more working together.
And why would you do that, or why wouldn't you do that?
I'm going to use Baffert again as an example. He frequently will have horses either working together, two horses working together, or he'll have one a length or so ahead of the other, and then at the end of the work, the trailing horse will come and pass him. This is great training for a race situation where you've got teaching a horse to be patient, and then they're going to come out. I don't have the luxury of doing that because I don't have enough horses to
Right.
do that.
Right.
But it's a great
You
great
think
thing.
it also helps, a horse mentally with their
Absolutely.
competitive edge
Absolutely.
as
Yeah.
a horse in company.
Yeah.
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 okay, how about from the gate?
That's a workout rather than a running start. They're breaking from the starting gate.
But they don't, just like you say in races, I learned from you that horse racing is not a standing start.
It's a run. Yeah.
It's right.
run
So
up.
you have a run up. When do they? Okay, so my horse goes 4 furlongs from the gate. They're not really timing it from when they leave the gate, are they?
Correct.
That just means the horse started.
Right.
It's
So here in the morning, the starting gate is set up at the I'm pointing down here like everybody can see.
yeah.
It's set up in the 3/4 chute, 3/4 of a mile, 6 furlong chute.
Uh-huh.
All right, and there's a big red and white pole there because quarter miles are big red and white poles. 1/8 are green, 1/16 are black and white. Okay, so the starting gate is actually about, 60 feet, 40 feet past the 3/4 pole. So they'll break from the gate and then the clockers will get them as they pass the 3/4.
And it's very interesting on that point. Yesterday we were talking about the Pegasus.
Yeah.
They had changed the layout of that, and yesterday the run up was 121 feet.
Really?
So think about that as far as what it would mean in times when you're looking
Yeah.
at it, right?
And
If you don't know- if you
and
don't
where your
understand
horse is when the clock starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
run up is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I honestly I don't know if or how run up affects a horse's performance.
Yeah. Should I be concerned again as a bettor, or should I be concerned if I see a
If you're a
workouts
bettor,
from the
you
gate?
should be concerned. But
Well, that's
True.
that
Good
goes
point.
without
That
saying.
goes, yeah, true. When it says a horse is working from the gate, because I'm thinking, oh, this horse has trouble getting out of the gate. That's why the trainer would have them work from the gate. Is that true? Not true.
not necessarily. If a horse has a problem in a race with the starting gate, either loading or leaving the gate or just standing in the gate and causing trouble, the starter will notify the stewards, and that horse will be put on the starters list.
Oh.
And that horse has to be reapproved by the starter before it can race again.
And with the same point, this is very interesting when you talk about workouts. So you see the term handling from the gate a lot, and he's coming from the
Oh,
gate.
don't get me
But-
started.
Wait, but let's go the other way with a horse that's not working from the gate.
Yeah.
Like a horse that just went 4 furlongs. To the person who doesn't actually see it, they don't know what the run up is to when they start that 4 furlong work.
Right.
So you don't really know. You're certainly not starting as a standing start. You're running up to it.
Yeah.
And that can affect the time of the workout.
No,
also.
they're going to start at the pole.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's when they're going to start timing it.
Right.
I'm saying, but what is the run up to
But
that?
how much
How
momentum?
much momentum
yeah.
does a horse
Right.
have when they start timing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm really confused as a handicapper.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sounds about
And
right.
That's what this was for.
Sounds about right. That means you're doing it right, Stan. If you're confused, yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
So, last thing we want to cover, unless there's something else you want to throw in that you think we haven't covered, but after the horse has worked out and you bring them back to the barn, what does the horse go through at that point? I mean, I know you give her a bath. She comes out all clean afterwards, but
Yeah, she
what
does
else do you
get a
do?
bath. She,
Okay. Other than that, what
yeah, they
happens?
routinely. Well, interestingly, there's new
Uh-oh.
new
studies?
research on it. Yes, yes. That horse Run Happy.
Yeah.
They had a kind of a technical advisor in that entourage, and they were stabled next to us when they were here for the Breeders' Cup, and I kind of got to know that guy, and we talked about cooling out horses and stuff, and he said you just let them drink. Traditionally I was brought up, and everybody here, you'll see these horses that you count how many swallows. They get 10 swallows of water every 10 minutes.
Okay.
I'm serious.
And
I'm
they-
serious.
And we're
now,
some people are still doing that, you think?
everybody's
Oh
still
my
doing
gosh.
that.
Okay.
But now there's new research that, I changed what I was doing after talking to this guy and watching how they cooled out Run Happy after he won the Breeders' Cup and all that. So I've been doing a lot of this stuff already, but the new research shows that you want to get them rehydrated as quickly as possible. You want to get their body temperature way down, because remember, these horses evolved during the Ice Age. These are Ice Age mammals. These mammals, they're megafauna, and they evolved to hold in the heat in a cold climate. So you want to get that body temperature down. You want to get them rehydrated. You want to get the pulse rate down to normal and the respiratory down to normal. That's cooling out a horse. But the way it's routinely done is that, don't let them have too much water. They'll get they'll colic, and they're going to tie up. The muscles will cramp up if you don't give them a hot bath with blankets on them and all this stuff. And now they did a great study that they actually did blood samples and checked for the muscle enzymes to see if there was a difference between giving a horse a cold bath and a hot bath and cooling them out with a cooler blanket or none. And they found no difference. There was no benefit to doing it the other way.
I know one important proponent. You're definitely a proponent of taking the heartbeat of the horse after work.
Oh yes, he knew it.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't say that. Another secret revealed.
No, yes. I don't think anybody else around here does
I don't
this.
think I'm going to be invited back, by the way.
But there, but around the country there are people who particularly off the track, people who are preparing horses to come into the track, are using heart rate information. What I'm doing here with heart rate is 10 minutes post breeze. So once they cross the finish line, start the timer. In 10 minutes, we check the heart rate. It should be down to 80 to 100. If it's below 80, that horse is not going to get a conditioning boost. If it's over 100, then that horse wasn't prepared for the amount of work that it did, the speed and distance that it did.
And the resting heart.
Resting heart rate. These horses will have a resting heart rate in the low 30s, like 30 to 36 beats per minute.
Wow.
Their maximum heart rate during a workout or a race can be as high as 240.
Wow.
Huge difference.
Huge difference.
Wow.
Now, I've been doing for years, I've been checking the heart. First, in the morning, first thing we do is we check their body temperature in case they've got a fever or something. And, they're not going to say, I feel like I'm coming on with a cold this
They
morning.
don't tell you
They
that
don't
stuff?
tell you
Oh.
that, yeah. So we check their temperature, we check their heart rate, and we check their legs. A horse that's in pain will have an increased heart rate, 50, 60, 80, something like that. So when we check that heart rate every morning, it's in the low 30s. Like her, she's almost always 34.
So if you're at 90 beats per minute after a workout, that's pretty much the sweet spot.
That's
huh?
great, yeah. So,
Well, terrific. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Appreciate you being here.
all right.
Jay, thank you as always.
Okay.
All right.
See you guys.